Good afternoon, everybody. It is 1 p.m. Central Standard Time. And it is Friday, and it is already the second day of November. That is crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy that it's that time already. Which is nuts. All right, let's go ahead and get into our trading here. Or not trading. Well, yeah, trading, but our analysis. All right, so we've got some nice bullish moves going on. Excuse me. All right. We'd had a nice close yesterday. This is not this is the close of yesterday on the daily, but pretty nice formation here. Clear buying signs, buying tails. We've expanded into another square here. Wide open distribution range, and a lot of clear support below. Looking like a pretty nice start to something bigger. Although we are in the afternoon. Hello, Mohammed. We are in the afternoon, and you know, we can definitely see that there is the Friday afternoons either. Well, I was going to say they either have nothing happen or something happen, but that would be like any other day. What we're looking at is Fridays are generally one of the more active, kind of funky moves. Be the Bitcoin Cash Fork or BAT or BTC or what? What to buy? Yes. I thought I had that pulled up. Why do I have it pulled up? Well, we got a lot of options here. Let's go ahead and take a look at them. Bring it down to the 4-hour. All right. We'll look at just take a peek at Bitcoin real quick. We had a couple trade ideas yesterday that we were looking at. The first one was long on Bitcoin at 63.25. That's up. Ethereum long at 198. We're up on that as well. Not by much though. Just really waiting for a nice breakout. There was a nice return above the trend line here. That's a pretty bullish signal here. That we tested above it, got rejected lower, but then ultimately we've decided to trade back up into it. 4 hours looking a little overdone here. We'll have to see if there's any support to keep it running higher. Otherwise, we might see a little bit of a pullback. And then Litecoin at $50.40 was the signal yesterday. That's working out okay. When we discussed this as that prices don't like to hang out by these arcs when they approach them, and you know, right as Litecoin hit this a few days ago, it just went sold right off and came back into it, trying to get out of it, and it has done so. So this is a nice supportive structure that has developed now that we're above this particular arc here. Prices, for whatever reason, do not like to be around these inside the arcs or on them for very long. Prices like to move pretty wildly away from them. All right. Then we had a look at Cardano, the Cardano Bitcoin pair, long at 11.14. That was based on the Ichimoku system. We were looking at that. Let me get the right time frames up here. So this is the multi-time frame analysis for the Ichimoku system. And so this is the daily chart on the top left, the 4-hour chart on the top right, and then on the bottom that's the hourly. So yesterday we were looking at taking a long on Cardano. Maybe if I get the right pair up here. Based on the hourly, we wanted to see us trade above the consolidated action that we had. So that worked out really nicely. We saw us break above the cloud. Had a breakout there. Very nice. Good move. Yes. Let me get that settled there. Can you see it? Sweet. Actually, I might put it down here. Okay, what do we have? We had Cardano. Cardano's actually, we'll come back to Cardano, excuse me, but this should be a pretty, yeah, you can see yourself. You know, tomorrow I'll set up the streamers so I can have this as, like, I don't have to have it like overlaying on top of this because I'll have to go back and forth, but that's okay. So Cardano worked out nicely. A basic attention token, we're looking to go long at 41.46. That is currently sitting okay. Just slightly below that. I mean, we'll see what happens if prices trace back here on the hourly back to the baseline here. Yeah, I can say that. And also, there's a beautiful breakout on the 4-hour here. Okay. The 4-hour support zone on basic attention token. Remember yesterday we were talking about basic attention token as being one of the few cryptos that has a sustained move and a authentic breakout on its daily chart. And basic attention token is definitely one of those. This is a pretty good support zone right here. So if I look down at the top of the cloud here, this is sitting at 40.85, and if I look on my cursor on the hourly chart down below here, that is also in that shared zone. So the 40.85 for basic attention token is actually a pretty good entry. Make sure I said that right. 40.85. Yeah. That's on a pullback to the top of the 4-hour Ichimoku cloud. And again, as we're going through this, the Ichimoku system, if you have any questions about what you're looking at on the screen, let me know, and I will. Because that's me. I'm an educator first and foremost, so I want to make sure that, you know. Yeah. All right, then we had IOTA. We had a long on IOTA at 74.56. That was based on the Ichimoku cloud breaking above the prior highs on the 1-hour chart. So if I look back when we were talking, that was over here. Yep, Ichimoku is working out nicely. The 4-hour. So here's a good example of the lagging span. Now, for those of you who know the Ichimoku system and those who don't know the Ichimoku system, Ichimoku in 3 time frames. I guess is that a excuse me. So the lagging span is like it is the key to success in the Ichimoku system. It is I I don't know why, but a lot of folks who teach the Ichimoku system or have even written about it, there's books on eBay that are really bad on the Ichimoku system, and some of them totally take out the lagging span. When the lagging span, or the Chico span as it was originally called, it is the trigger to get you into the best trade possible. Well, I guess I don't know what that best trade possible, but it is the indicator that is going to give you the least amount of risk with the most amount of gain. It's great. So essentially, if you're looking to be like a conservative trader or even a safe trader, if you're not anything under a daily chart, if you wait for the lagging span, which is the black average over here, and over here, if you wait for it to move above the cloud for the long, that is, I mean, and generally there's a lot of systems within the Ichimoku system that you trade, a lot of rules that you can trade, and on almost all of them, it is you wait until the lagging span is above the cloud. Once the lagging span is above the cloud, that is all the other conditions are usually met by then. Usually we're waiting for the last thing to happen, and that is the lagging span. So once the lagging span crosses above the cloud, boom, that is a confirmed long trade. And then on the short side of it, it's just the opposite. So on the IOTA trade, let's say we missed an entry yesterday. There's a possible pullback on the 1 hour. So there's actually two trade ideas here in IOTA. Is waiting for the breakout of the lagging span on the 4 hour chart, or waiting on a pullback to the if we wait to the baseline on the daily, or on the hourly, that brings us down to, well, still lagging the market quite a bit too. That brings us down to brings it below the cloud. It's the top of the cloud here. Top of the clouds, bottom cloud. Yeah. Actually, well, I'll put in 3 different ideas on that, because there's actually 3 entries you could do. There's 2 optional pullback trade ideas, and then there's 1 breakout idea. But as always, it's Friday and the weekend, so there could be like a 10% drop randomly, just out of nowhere. Something about cryptos. So let's do the long is at the close above here. We'll be looking at 76.81. Lagging span above 4 hour Ichimoku cloud. Long at a pullback to the 1 hour base. 75.05. And then for a deeper pullback, which it's a shared confluence zone here. We see the top of the cloud on the 1 hour chart is also right near the top of the cloud on the 4 hour chart, which is also a thick cloud. So this will provide probably the least risk for a trade, either this trade here or the one that pops up here. Okay, and some people ask, well, why don't you if you want to take a trade that's going to break out up here, why don't you just go long right now? Because we don't know if it's going to get there, and rather not participate in those whipsaws. So, what did I say? Okay, we'll look at the 73.79. Cool. Got that. Then we did IOTA, we did Litecoin, Cardano, basic attention token, IOTA, Nano. Nano's been a hasn't done a damn thing. Nano. Yeah, geez, pretty flat. Holy cow. Nano, we wanted to go long at 3206 if there was going to be a break of the flag pattern. We obviously did not get that. We'd have to trade above here on the hourly. That'd be the one we want to look at. That'd be at 3150. I mean, actually, it's the same trade. Same as yesterday, really. Nano BTC. Ichimoku break of flagging pattern and above on our cloud. Okay, so what's for those of you who don't know, the lagging span is the Ichimoku system. It means the market at a glance, or I think it's even long. Ichimoku Kinko Hayo is the name of it, full name of it. Just call it Ichimoku. But the more you use this system, the more you can just look at it and you know where there's a trade or where there's not a trade, because the Japanese trading system like this is not. Some people who are like some old school analysts, you know, who have been trading ever since I don't know, the 70s, the 60s, or whatever. I've read that they don't like this system so much because it's not as static as Western analysis. Like Western analysis is very kind of strict and static as far as how you look at things and how you trade things and how the rules are applied. And the Ichimoku system, there's a little bit more dynamic qualities to it. There's a little bit more flexibility with the trader to break the rules and such. So yeah, it's a pretty interesting thing. And I know I always say I want to do this, but I don't know of anybody else who trades the Ichimoku system who also tells you the three other components to it, because the Ichimoku system is yes, it's the lagging span and the conversion line and the spans, span A, span B, the cloud, and the lagging span. Yes, it is all that, or those are the Tenkan-sen, the Kijun-sen, the Chico span, the Kumo is the cloud, and Senko span A and B are the averages over here. But there is a separate time-based theory in the Ichimoku system. There is a separate wave-based theory, and there is a separate profit-based theory. In fact, let me go off on a tangent here for just a second. Get my bookish stuff. Where are you at? That is not it. I thought I had a whole separate. I can't find it. So, I mean, shoot. Well, I don't want to waste time on it. But the Ichimoku system, there is a separate price target principle. There's a separate time span principle, and there's a wave principle associated with it too. And oddly, the wave principle is just like, well, it's not just like Elliott wave. It's a little different. You know what? I have to pull this up though. Bear with me. It's not sticky. I'm married. You know, if I have needs. Let's see here. Do I not have the book on here? Oh, you know what? I bet it's in this, though. Let's see, it's breakthroughs in technical analysis. I'm excited about this weekend. I'm really interested in seeing what happens with these markets over the weekend. Table of contents. Trading with candles and clouds. All right. This book is really good. Let me just show you real quick. It's, where's that? Oh, breakthroughs in technical analysis. Oh my God. If I could recommend a book, this is a great book. And the author who does the chapter here on the Ichimoku system, Nicole Elliott, she has a book. It's fantastic. There's another guy, David Linton, and trying to think of the other person, but look for the book by Nicole Elliott. Her Ichimoku book is on Amazon. It's fantastic. But she goes through. This is kind of a. I don't know if she actually talks about the time principle in here or not. Well, she's kind of alluding to it right now. No, I don't think she does. Not here. I'd have to find the actual book, which grr. I thought I had it. I know I'm probably losing some of you here. Hold on. I promise to get back on track here, but I'm having an ADD hyper-focus moment where I really have to find it. Otherwise, I'm just going to go nuts. Linton. Well, what the hell? I can't. It's a really fantastic. I wanted to show it off, but I have so many books on my drive. I just can't even find them when I need them. Oh, there's Master of Time. Just shit. I think it was called Cloud Charts. Lo and behold, I think that's where it is. Yep. Okay, here it is. David Linton's book. David Linton is actually the guy who first kind of introduced, this is reading for people with zero vision here. David Linton wrote this. It's a fantastic book, but damn it, does he not even talk about it in here? I know Nicole Elliott does in her book. Okay, I wasted enough time on this. Time to get back to what everybody's here for. Okay, anyways, Ichimoku system, fantastic. The more you use it, the more you can just look at a chart here and you can tell where our trading opportunity is. And the nice thing is you don't have to force a trade. You just find what price action is doing on all these 3 time frames, form a directional bias based on that. Bitcoin Cash, yeah, I'll take a look at that. And then you just place your trades where they should go. But you don't have to force anything here, which is really nice. Bitcoin Cash. Whoa. What happened here? Or they You know what? I had a whole bunch of stuff pop up on my newsfeed about this, but I didn't even look at it because I'm personally not a huge fan of Bitcoin Cash. Bitcoin Cash is the first fork of Bitcoin, I believe. And I think it is. Anyways, a fork off of, if you hear the word fork, you don't know what it means. A fork means that it's changing something, and so there's basically two forks. There's a hard fork, and then there's a soft fork. A hard fork means that Bitcoin Cash is a hard fork, so it takes all the history that on Bitcoin's blockchain, and then it starts adding new stuff onto it. Okay, that's Bitcoin Cash. It's something separate from the original. A soft fork is like a software upgrade. You know, it's like updates for Windows 8. But if you want Windows 10, that's a hard fork. You could call it of Windows, and you know, you have to start using a brand new area. That's basically what it is. And Bitcoin Cash is a hard fork of Bitcoin. You know, in the spirit of Satoshi Nakamoto, we're in the 10-year of birth of release of the white paper, I believe. You know, the entire purpose of Bitcoin was to create a medium of trade that had value, that could be used by anybody, and was not in the control of government or powerful people in general. Bitcoin Cash took the total wrong way of that, because instead of some government controlling Bitcoin Cash, it's ran by it's crony capitalism. It's owned by mining companies. And yeah, so that's Bitcoin Cash. They're you know, they're not owned by a government, but they're owned by very powerful, and I hate to throw around that phrase, corporate. Like, I'm a free market capitalist. I love making money. I think everybody should do it how they want to, but Bitcoin Cash is the evil capitalist version of like Neo. Then Bitcoin Gold was actually, that was the more in line with Satoshi Nakamoto's view. Bitcoin Gold, from a idealistic standpoint and a political standpoint, is more compatible to Satoshi Nakamoto's vision, but Bitcoin Cash definitely is not. And when we were talking on when I was on Crypto Insomniacs on Monday, we talked about decentralized versus centralized, and I was thinking more about this, and I would like to see a room filled with people who are cryptocurrency enthusiasts and XRP's brother, BCH. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's right. If you were to put a whole bunch of people in a room talking about cryptocurrencies, and you asked everybody a question like, would you be willing to give up the amount of money that you can make in a speculative market if you could maintain the original political and idealistic approach of Satoshi Nakamoto? Like, if you, because there's a huge you actually kind of think about it, you know, in order for us to have a successful and authentic speculative market, because that's what we're all doing in here. We're all this is the most speculative markets. We need some type of centralization, unfortunately. That is kind of something that needs to exist. We're already learning the hard way that not having some type of controls, which I really hate saying, because I'm a hardcore constitutionalist and very liberty minded, and saying the word control and financial markets in the same sentence is kind of anathema to me. But and I think maybe control isn't the word, but a way to legally go after bad actors. Okay, there needs to be some type of enforcement arm in the market that can go after people who are dealing out shitty ICOs, who are hacking stuff, which I have an idea on this. My wife thought I was crazy, but I don't know what it is. Like, sex trafficking really bothers me. Like, I don't know what it is. I get really pissed off whenever I hear news about it. And and whenever people's cryptocurrencies are hacked, it really pisses me off too. So there was a time back in the day when, like the Age of Pirates, Captain Morgan and let's who else? Edward Teach, Blackbeard. There weren't a lot of pirates. Everybody was privateers, and privateers were given a letter of marque to do acts of piracy on other governments, so it was legalized piracy. We need to do that again, but for like bounty hunters or like if they're sex trafficking, the U.S. should put a bounty out on them and let people go out independently and go kill these fuckers and bring their heads back, and they get a bounty from the good old U.S. of A. or something. That's a good way to get rid of them. Same thing with hackers. Let the NSA track them down. Let the independent citizen form their own little posse. Go out and take care of these people. Don't let them get away with it. If the government's going to offer $100K a head for some evil, sick bastard sex trafficker, or from some selfish hacker who wants to get a hold of somebody's hard-earned money, I bet it would slow down pretty quick. Yeah. There's my rant. Bitcoin Cash. This is where we're running into danger. We look at this chart. This reminds me a lot of looking at the pound and the euro this week when they had those big rallies. You run the risk of trying to catch something, and it's like the minute you go long, it's like, ouch, you get burned. So the best thing you can do is wait for a pullback. If you look at the chart here, where is price kind of stalling out a little bit? Right at the baseline of the daily chart. Price has rallied up here. Looks to be pretty authentic volume. The volume, excuse me, the volume's pretty good. Volume's pretty high. It looks all right. Vigilante ICO, yes. We're looking to raise a $300 million offering so we can pay people to go kill bad people. I'd do it. Hell, you might be able to convert some of those when they finally decriminalize all the drugs. There's a lot of people with a certain set of skills in some countries who used to have to run security for other people trying to sell drugs into some countries, and they'll be looking for work. Don't let it go to waste. Take those people who are bad people, have them go after worse people. Do that. I don't know. There's a sick part of me where it's like, then they should not just kill them, but they should, especially these sex traffickers who abduct, little kids and women off the streets. Like, I don't know. You get, slowly torture them online, live stream it, let all the other evil assholes know this is what happens to you. There you go. Is that too dark? Oh, it's Friday. I have whiskey here. I should have some whiskey. Might calm me down. I'm getting worked up. Bitcoin Cash getting a little bit of pressure right up here on the baseline. We would probably need to wait for two things. If you want to wait on the daily, you'll be waiting a while. Otherwise, getting in on a pullback on the 1 hour or the 4 hour chart is our next best bet, because we have all the conditions met for a legitimate breakout on the hourly chart. We have all the conditions met for a long on a breakout of the 4 hour chart. Now we want to see some of it pull back. So looking at the 4 hour chart here, you know what? Why don't I just go like this and go like this. And you go right there. Oh, no. There we go. This zone down here, the 4 hour and the 1 hour are they're gonna they're gonna have the same value probably, but I would look at a I wouldn't wait for 50% of the range. I mean, it might get ran over. This is doing this with cryptos is so you have to really give yourself a large amount of variance, like a 33% either way. Any deep pullback close to the conversion and the baseline on the 1 hour chart, I think would be the area I'd want to look at to enter if I got in there too far. Otherwise, if I was already long on this, I would certainly be shaving off some profit here, because the baseline here is a natural stopping point. Comparing Eastern and Western analysis again, the baseline is essentially it's like the 50% Fibonacci level. I mean, you take any of the swings that you find on any chart on any time frame, and you're going to find a heavy correlation between the baseline and the 50% Fibonacci level. Usually do the second swing. Where are you at? Right there. By the pro tip: when you do Fibonacci, actually the broker IC Markets got a hold of me on TradingView and was asking me why I do the Fibonacci levels how I do. But Fibonacci levels, if you want to do them the way the pros do, any retracement, you don't do it off of a major swing high and a major swing low. If you're looking at a trend of some sort, and let's not use a crypto because that's just blech. Dollar yen. There we go. How about something that I don't have a lot of stuff on? Euro, pound, Aussie yen. Okay, Aussie yen. So looking at a daily chart, we see, okay, there's a obvious downtrend going on here. This was the swing high, or if you just wanted to look at it from this swing to this swing, where's the 50% level? Most people want to draw their Fibonacci's from here down to here for that retracement. Here's the other thing. You probably look at this and say, well, yours are backwards. Yep. Make sure this is selected. I'm only saying this because Constance Brown, she's one of the probably like the world expert on trading with Fibonacci levels. I say I have to do some research on these cryptos. I'm currently just doing Forex now, but I look at that chart. IOTA's looking at a nice downward slope. Yeah, I don't know if you were here yesterday, Jonah. I used IOTA. This market is weird. I trade Forex too, and I totally hear you, because because the market is so correlated. Cryptos, there's really like no crypto that is moving independently for any long period of time differently than Bitcoin is. And so when something starts to rise in value, if the market's starting to make a pump up or a drive up, and we see that happening, I always look for the ones that haven't done it yet. So IOTA, even though IOTA, if IOTA was a Forex pair, I would not touch that thing going long. Hell no, would not even touch it. But because everything's pretty much a slave to the whims of Bitcoin, and until that changes, it's just one of those things where you look at IOTA's chart, it is way overdone compared to its peers, and just from that basis alone, it is a great speculative long position. But by the way, if anybody likes Forex, likes to trade Forex, I do a Forex session every morning too, Monday through Friday at 7:30 in the morning, Central Standard Time. You can check out forexlens.com. Forex Lens into crypto markets, it's the same thing, just we call it different. So, but back to the Fibonacci retracements. What did I hit? When you're drawing those retracements, don't use the first swing. Use the second one. All right? That is the way that Constance Brown talked about it, or if you were talking about a swing from this swing low to this swing high, we would use the second swing low, not the first swing low. Okay? And you'll see this kind of all over, like this, you know, just look at these, the 50% level here. Look at where the wicks kind of hold out here. Look at where the retracements come down to on the 382. Look at that compared to pulling it all the way over to here. Is it still workable? Yeah. Or oops, down here rather. Is it still usable? Yeah. But trust me, that you start doing that, and it'll make a big difference in your trading. Believe you me. All right, and another thing, unless you're making Gartley patterns, Gartley harmonic patterns, there's really not a huge need to have any of these other, with the exception of the extensions like the 1618. There's really no major reason to have the 236 or the 882, unless you're trying to form some Gartley harmonic patterns. Then those are really necessary, but otherwise, just from a Fibonacci retracement perspective, it's not necessary. But Bitcoin Cash, let me go back to that for you. Oh, right over here. Yeah, I'd be looking at getting into it on a pullback, if there is one, down to that level. Otherwise, looking at probably safest waiting on the daily, a clear break on the daily of the lagging span above the cloud. I know that seems like a big deal in the long distance, but really it certainly looks like it would take forever looking at it from this perspective. But if we zoom out, we look at what Bitcoin Cash is trading at compared to what it used to be at. I mean, we're not really looking at a monstrous difference here. We're talking very few percentage points. All right. The next trade we had, we did IOTA. We did Nano. The ZRX was one. Get rid of these old labels. ZRX. All right. So on the hourly, facing a little, so it's actually the whole market looks like it's shaving a little off, which is fine. On the hourly, showing a little weakness. When you start to see prices drift below the conversion line, that could be a signal of weakness, but really it's not enough to really give anything. But if you start seeing it poke below the baseline and stay down there, then that's a sign of weakness. But otherwise, we've still got a nice bullish breakout on the hourly chart. On the 4 hour, looks a little bit more difficult. We're inside the cloud, so on a time, whatever time frame you use in the Ichimoku system to initiate an entry, if ever the price is inside the cloud, you just don't take a trade. It's probably one of the best things about the Ichimoku system is it tells you when not to trade. And so on the 4 hour chart, it's telling us clear indecision, but hell, the daily, that is a different story. This is one of those rare occurrences when the lagging span is finally breaking above the cloud, but it's not all the conditions are met for a long now. So really, you could take a trade on the daily here, as long as price were to move back above the baseline. So that would be looking at 13,367. That'd be a daily Ichimoku price above baseline. That'd be a long limit or a stop by stop, which is okay. All right, let's look at some others, see what we've got. Let's look at Zcash. Zcash, what do you got going on? I mean, it might get a breakout. Yeah, I mean, it will eventually. We're on the hourly. We're going to eventually get above the cloud just by drifting, but I'd only want to initiate a trade here on a breakout above the highs here. It's just like classic rectangle Darvis box breakout situation here. A lot of supportive structure on the 1 hour. Ichimoku looking at the, actually this is not supportive at all. A thin cloud, it represents weakness. So thin clouds are easy to cross above and below. A thick cloud is a hard cloud to get above or below. But the baselines right here seems to be acting as a pretty nice support level. The 4 hour chart, you know, we crossed above the conversion. We're currently above the base, but it doesn't look like the strongest activity. But again, I think we'd be okay. Breakout there. Price would be, yeah, it might be okay to do for a little bit. That would be looking at the 118, we'll say 118.25. Price above range highs. Ripple. Let's take a look at Ripple. 4 hour chart looks tasty for a long trade if we get an opportunity, and then the daily breakout's not far away either. Price and lagging span above would be at 59.39. This would be at 47. The breakout would be. Same as break above that high. Yeah. That would be the zone for that long on Ripple. By the way, if there's a coin you guys want me to take a look at, pop it in chat. Price above the 4 hour cloud. And lagging span. Now, let's see. Stellar Lumens. Ooh, nice breakout on the daily, or the hourly. 4 hours, getting a little resistance. Why? Because it's at the top of, or the bottom of the cloud here is acting as resistance. The daily, eventually the daily will be an easy breakout, but the hourly looks nice so far. Not a very good entry anywhere here because of the proximity of price to the bottom of the cloud. OMG, yes. Actually, I picked up some OMG yesterday. Full disclosure, there it is. Just picked some up yesterday. This is my, I use Binance to do my trading on. I have everything I hold in wallets. But I picked up OMG yesterday. Last night, rather. Where are you at, OMG? Get down here. All right. Oh yeah. There is a nice shared breakout zone here on OMG that you can get with the Ichimoku. We've got a 4 hour and a 1 hour kind of a shared zone. 1 hour we want to see lagging span and price break above the high here at 521, and it's pretty close to what we want to see over here as well. But I would, looking at the longer time frame, I would wait for that to get to 531 here on the 4 hour chart. That would be the long entry there. price and lagging span above 4-hour cloud. Now, there are some trades in the Ichimoku system where, like on the daily charts, you can take trades, long trades below the cloud, depending on you know, the recent price action, because it's I'll just go on a rant if I keep going on about that. But Bitcoin Gold, I know I have that here somewhere. You want the Bitcoin pair or the dollar pair? Because it really doesn't matter too much. Bitcoin Gold. Son of a bitch. I would have added to this. Daily chart is... Damn, that is a nice looking daily chart. That's a nice looking 4-hour chart too. And the hourly. Holy cow. Yeah. Hey, thanks for asking about this one. What do we got? How much volume was that one? Or is that just an anomaly? No, probably want to wait. 28 even. That would be price and lagging. Oops. Yeah, this is a really nice Ichimoku setup here on the 4-hour and the 1-hour. Not so concerned about how elevated this is on the hourly, but really nice break up, higher setup on this daily. That's really nice. Definitely. That is, you know, only if we see the market continue to go up. I think the music paused and restarted. Okay, we've got Bitcoin Gold we did. Yep, yeah, Muhammad, me too. I do too. When there was that bad news that came out about it, like, and when Bittrex dropped it, I love that stuff though. I mean, if there's something that I really like and I've done my own research on and due diligence, I look forward to bad news. Because that just creates buying opportunities, and Bitcoin Gold I really do like. I know some people might say, oh, nobody uses it, minds it, whatever. I still think it has a good future. All right. Then did we look at Cardano? I don't know if we looked at Cardano. I thought we did. Maybe we did. Now Cardano getting, this is another good example of how that lagging span works, but price getting halted at the top of the cloud here, and lagging span facing resistance up against the baseline. Now that's a cool thing about the lagging span is that you know, it acts like price does, and it'll react to the same support and resistance levels that you see on the candlesticks. So it's like you're looking at two different zones, and when you're looking at the hourly chart here, I think there's a great Ichimoku book. It's part of the Wiley trading series. Wiley Publishing, they have a whole financial series of trading books, and these are like, it's great nerd reading. Like, they have all sorts of stuff there. But Manesh Patel is the author of one of the Ichimoku books there, and he calls this out in the open, or is free ranging, or some, I forget what he calls it, but basically that means if the lagging span is not going to run into any candlestick in the next 10 periods, then you've got a highly probable trade that will be a great profit runner with almost no risk attached to it. So right now, looking at the hourly chart, that is exactly the scenario we see, is a lagging span out in the open. And so if we were to fast forward 10 periods, would the lagging span drift into the price action? No, it would not. This is a nice breakout on the hourly, seeing price find support at the baseline, traded back up, found support at the conversion line. Very nice. I mean, I'm a stupid bull on Cardano, so I like holding it. But the pullback is, I mean, right where it's at, or otherwise, I mean, if I was trading it right now, I probably wouldn't take a long on it. So, nope, wouldn't do it. Ethereum Classic. Let's look at this bad boy, because he's got, yeah, here it is. I was wondering if it was going to get here by the time we started talking. In the next 5 minutes, this thing will move outside of the cloud. And there's a nice long opportunity here. Seeing, I don't know how resistive this zone is going to be on the 4 hour, but on the 1 hour, if Ethereum Classic can get up to 920, that is a nice long entry zone. That'd be lagging span and above recent range highs. And Litecoin, okay. Ooh. Oh, you know what? I bet if Litecoin's going to do this, that's like the second one. If this confirms higher, then this will be this is one of the cool things about the Ichimoku system. I've noticed, like on any instrument. So if you get a breakout on the hourly or the 4 hour, and you see prices doing this kind of action where it trades up and then it stalls out and it comes back down to the conversion line. This is only on the conversion line. If it happens twice in a row, which it really didn't here, but for in the future, if you ever see it happen, then you can just keep doing this probably for a long time, because the conversion line will act as like a long-term short support zone, and so any like pullback, any dip down to that is like just keep adding to it on the way up. They're runners. It's fun to get in on those. On the 4 hour, we have a pretty nice breakout opportunity if you want to wait for it at 52.86. And I want to take a look at the just the market geometry real quick on our major pairs on the 4 hours. So Bitcoin, there's really not a lot of distributing range here. Resistance right up here, but I don't know if we would actually last that long. It could. This support line's holding pretty well so far. Cup and handle formation forming on this. Actually, I've already got a cup and handle formation, which actually don't have a lot of. They're not very profitable, according to Thomas Bulkowski's book on chart patterns. Ethereum, Same story. We're in a pretty wide range in here, but we're back above this upper trend line here, so that's just kind of a big deal right here to be above this and holding above it. And finally, Litecoin. Nice breakout there. Yeah. Be interesting to see what we have happen on the next hour to 2 hours here. I really am interested in seeing how these things are going to trade out. Again, a lot of these long trades, and it's fun to get excited about the market when it starts moving like this, but you know how the market is. You start to get excited about it, and it's like, oh my gosh, my account went up 1% in cryptocurrencies. It can easily just ruin your weekend. Yeah, just trade smart. I mean, these are all have plenty of trade ideas out there, but pay attention to what Bitcoin is doing more than anything. I cannot wait for the day that we don't have to look at that coin all the time to get the moving market. I can't wait for the day that most of the U.S. exchanges are all fiat pairs, which some people probably don't like, but yeah, there's a lot of good opportunities here coming up. So we've got the stock markets down a little bit, but not horrible. The dollar index pulled back a little bit from its big drop. Oh yeah, shit, called that. It's funny. Dollar index is just, the dollar's crazy. It's nuts. All right, well, that is it for me, folks. Thank you for being with me yesterday and today and this week. We may have a lot to talk about on Monday, or we may not have a lot to talk about on Monday. But I'll tell you what, if there is a big breakout over the weekend, I will definitely spend some time this weekend going down the list of coins and putting out some signals on our Telegram. And then once this market is in full bull mode again, going up to like 10K and above, we're probably converting this into a paid room, and we'll add more stuff onto it too. But it's what do you call it? I'll talk about that on Monday. Anyways, want you guys to have a fantastic weekend. Be safe. Take care of yourselves, and try and take some time away from the markets. You don't have to be glued to them all the time. I'm just repeating what my wife tells me every evening. And she's right about that, though. So anyways, you guys have a great weekend, and I look forward to talking with you guys on Monday afternoon. And for the Forex Lens folks, I'll see you Monday morning. Have a good one. Bye-bye.